Hello students, welcome back to today's next part of the lesson that we're going to have for you today for dealing down derivatives. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go over to the power rule section, and we're going to talk a little bit about the power rule today. But for the time being, we'll talk a little bit about it using Explain Everything, a little interactive tool that's going to be more of a whiteboard activity that you're all going to be using. For the power rule, what you're going to want to do is when you have the equation of the derivative of some x variable to any power, where it could be second x to the second power, which means x squared, x to the third, which means x cubed. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to multiply that n, bring it down in front of the x, and then do n minus 1. Here's a quick example. Let's say we have x to the 43rd power. That's a 3, I swear. It's also a very absurd number, but hey, it's going to work. You're just going to do 43 x raised to the 42nd power. And that's because 43 minus 1 is 42. The great part about having simple things like this for the power rule is that if we ever felt so inclined to, we could do that again for another derivative. If we take the derivative of this, we get 43 times 42. I do not know that on top of my head. X to the 41. And then so on and so on, continuing on down that chain, dot, 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 up until we get to x to the 0, which would just be 1. But in doing this, using Explain Everything, it's a really good tool to have for your whiteboard. What many options that you can do is just like how I just showed you. You can have multiple colors of tools for how you're going to write out on the board for each different part of the equation. Another tool that you can use is in case you make a mistake, you can just easily erase it. Just erase whatever you have. Just like if you had a regular whiteboard. Easy peasy. For those of you who don't like to just write here, if you didn't bring your computer with you, or if you didn't bring your laptop with you and you have the computer instead, or you don't have a stylus and you don't want to write on with your hand or finger, what you can do is you can just add a sticky note. And with the sticky note, it looks a little bit funky, but it's rather than doing x to the 43rd, you do x to the 43rd, but the answer you put underneath it would be 43x raised to the 42nd. This for me means the same thing. This just means above the x have a 43rd power. Above the x have a 42nd power. Those are two different ways you can submit your answer when you're doing it. However, everyone will be required. You don't have to do the video, but you will have to record your audio of you solving out the problem. This way I get an understanding of your thought process of what you are trying to use when doing this. I also just now realized, while looking over in the right corner of my screen, because I didn't prepare for this, if you drag this down, you actually can just type X, and if you look down here, it has a superscript button, which means you can type 43rd. And then when you do that, it will just equal, oops, I'm still superscript. It will equal, well, it's not what equal. Then you can just do 43x raised to the 42nd power. You can do it one of two ways now that I've just now seen that, and I accidentally put that in there as well. So now that you have the two ways of solving it, you have to record yourself. You have the pen tool. If you need to erase it, you can. This code that you'll be seeing in the corner that I will be sharing with you, if you go back to the original page, will actually prompt you to join the whiteboard with this button press. And when you join this whiteboard, you're just going to want to edit the screen. And doing so, you can pick one of the two ways that I mentioned before about using a sticky note to type it out so it looks better on your part. Make sure you click the join. I'm not going to mute myself for right now. But make sure you use either a sticky note or write it out yourself. But make sure you're also recording your voice. If you don't record your voice, you will lose some credit on this assignment. Even if it's just, I do this because it's how I set it up, that is an acceptable response. Practice these problems and good luck with the rest of your day. Good luck and have a nice day.